Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about being open-minded, because being open-minded is usually seen as a good thing, but obviously, to one degree or another, it has its downfalls, as many things do. And so I wanted to put it to you like this. Imagine your mind, conscious mind, the behaviours that come from it, all of the knowledge stored within, all of those things that are mental rather than purely physical. Or at least are divided that way by the majority of people. Think about that as a computer hard drive. Now think what happens to a computer hard drive when it's unprotected, when there's no firewall, when there's no antivirus, when there's nothing like that. What happens to it when you link it to the internet, when you put it into that situation where it's connected to hundreds and thousands of other people? Well, there are two things that happen. One, if it's that open, then people can come and put whatever they want on it. They can throw all manner of malware and viruses and all kinds of negative shit onto that hard drive. But what happens if there's nothing that they want to throw on there, but there's stuff on there that they want to get off? Well, if it's that open and there's nothing protecting it, then they can go in, they can pick up everything that they want from it. And they can run away with as much sensitive information that happens to be stored there as they like. Simple. Okay, so now what happens when we put a firewall and antivirus in place? So with a firewall in place, it stops stuff from getting in, and it stops people from taking stuff out. You know, it prevents that. It's a little wall just to stop things from travelling unless they're allowed to. What about an antivirus? Well, that means that when something does get in, something gets into that hard drive, the antivirus is then able to go work it out and either quarantine it or delete it. Simple, right? So now let's take a look at this as the analogy for the human mind and your cognitive thoughts and things. If you are that open-minded, then, and have no filter, no protection and whatever else, then your brain will fall out. All you do is splooge everything that's in your head out all the time, and you know, all of that sensitive information, all of those things that are important to you, it feels like they can be taken away. Can they actually be taken away? Maybe, maybe not. It entirely depends on what you're approaching. But that's what brainwashing is to a degree. Pulling all those things out. Okay, so what happens the other way around then, with all that stuff put in? Well, the same really comes down to it, doesn't it? It's another form of brainwashing. You've had your mind polluted. And as a result of having your mind polluted, it's not really your mind anymore. Someone else has put all of their stuff in it and they've taken ownership of that. And then same goes for if someone has taken everything from that mind of yours and just strewn it out all over the place. All they've done is take ownership of the one thing that you've got that no one else can take away from you, which is the stuff that's up here. So what happens if you put a firewall in as a person? You've got that reason and resilience and responsibility, and you've got that wall of being able to analyse, critically think about the things that you're interacting with. What happens when that comes to pass? Well, that means that you can take the ideas that come up to you that are harmful, you can appraise them, you can break them down, you can see what they are, and then you can get rid of them. And the stuff that's inside here, all your personal stuff, the things that you don't want people to take away from you, they stay where you left them. You know, no one can fuck with those because they are yours. They are stuck in your place. Now, are there in the real world, in regards to computing? Yes, there are ways to get around firewalls, disable antiviruses, or fool them, or get past them in various ways. Yeah, sure. And there are ways to get past people's defenses in real life as well. You know, actual brainwashing techniques, cult indoctrination techniques. You know, all of these things apply to certain parts of our animal brain that cause us to then break down some of those defenses of our own accord and let the others in, let the others come and take ownership. What's the simplest way to avoid these things? Be skeptical, be curious. You know, Don't fear walking into a place looking for answers. Just make sure that you've got defenses there to make sure that they're the case. Yeah? Make sure that you actually get an answer and not just some excuse, not just some nonsense that has been fed to you just to let you, just to try and tease out those things from you or implant something that's going to be harmful to you or the people around you. Straightforward, you know. Don't let the bad in, don't let the good out. I would have thought that would have been fairly straightforward, but open-mindedness is usually put forward as such a positive thing. You know, you always have to be open-minded. You have to listen to everybody. You have to take on everything that everyone says. You don't have to balance things out. You don't have to look at the facts of the matter, because if you take on an objective truth that is supported by information and proof of various other sorts, then if you present that, then you're told that you're being close-minded, that you're not listening. But the thing is, listening is a finite activity. You listen, you take on board, you analyse, and then you act on. You can be listening for new information whilst acting on the information that you have. Just because the information that you have is upsetting someone because they are so open-minded that someone else is taking control of their mind, doesn't mean that you're wrong. As said, we can look, as I've mentioned in various other videos, you can look at things like Trump and Brexit, where things were based purely on outrage, purely on trying to get back at the man, or seeing them as a more preferable alternative to the kind of clamping down on people that some certain other candidates or options have done, because they've ignored the bigger picture numbers element of it. You know, those people, they've been swept up by these ideas, by these stories. You know, they've let the reason, the capacity to understand the numbers, the capacity to understand the bigger picture, be pushed to one side in favour of following a narrative, which is that you've got these big negatives and you've got these people involved, and it's all around personalities, you know, and that becomes a problem. That's where things start to break down again. But that's the way it is. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. What about open-mindedness? You know, can you be too open-minded? I feel you can. Do you feel that people aren't open-minded enough? Do you feel that some people are too open-minded and as a result have basically taken on certain ideas and ideologies as some kind of religious mantra? You know, I definitely feel that is the case in certain circles. It's kind of scary. But yeah, please let me know, because as I've said numerous times, the things that you guys tell me when you actually tell those things to me, absolutely fascinating. Love them to bits. But yeah, please let me know. And otherwise, if you found this at all interesting, or if you like the analogy that I gave in regards to open-mindedness, then please drop me a like. Otherwise, please subscribe for more, and I will see you in the video tomorrow. Take care, guys.